I hereby declare the first games of the Winter OlympicsAthon open. Hi everyone, and welcome to the opening ceremony for the Winter OlympicsAthon. Yes, it's happening again. I'm hosting another readathon inspired by the Olympic Games. This time it's the Winter's edition. The Olympic Games is, as you probably know, an international sporting event where nations compete for glory, for fame. This is a readathon inspired by that. The Olympic Games starts on the 2nd of February and goes on until the 20th of February. And those are the same dates for when this readathon will be happening. Technically, the Olympic Games starts on the 4th because that's when they have the opening ceremony, but some of the sporting events actually start on the 2nd, so that's the date I'm gonna go with. The goal with a readathon is basically to read books that fulfill prompts and challenges. My goal for this readathon has always been to make it as fun and as accessible as I can, and that won't change this time. As per the previous round of the OlympicsAthon, it will be up to you to decide on which level of difficulty you want to execute this readathon. You can keep it very simple, keep your reading to a minimum, not stress about it at all, or you can choose to make it very difficult for you, depending on your ambitions, how effective you want to be, and what books you want to read. Since it is inspired by the Olympic Games, an international sporting event where athletes represent their country, of course there's a competitive element to this readathon. You will also be competing for your country. Now, you get to pick whichever country you want to represent. It does not need to be the country where you live or the country where you were born. I don't care about the reason why, it's up to you. Pick any country you would like to represent for the Winter OlympicsAthon. Together with other readers that also chose to represent the same country as you will together be teaming up and collect points for your country. There are 5 main prompts inspired by the 5 Olympic rings on the flag, and also 4 bonus prompts. And it's with the bonus prompts that you sort of get to choose how difficult you want to make this for yourself. You don't need to fulfill the main prompts if you don't want to. You could only go for the bonus prompts if that was interest you, and vice versa. There's definitely no need to complete the bonus prompts. You can just choose to go for the main prompts. It's up to you which prompts you think are the most fun to try and complete. You are allowed to read however much you want throughout this readathon, although there is a maximum set of points that you can gain. You can't go beyond that. And also you are allowed to read whatever you want. Physical books, ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels, poetry, short story collections, anything goes. Every book counts, and also every point counts. For the 5 main prompts, you are not allowed to double up, meaning that if you want to complete all the main prompts, you need to read 5 books in total. But with the bonus prompts and with the combination of bonus prompts and main prompts, you're allowed to mix and match however you feel like make it work. So let's start at looking at the 5 main prompts. The first prompt is winter. Since it is the Winter Olympics, of course we need a prompt dedicated to the winter setting. So the prompt is to read a book with a winter setting. It can be that it is a snowy season, or there's snow wherever the characters are, or the story is taking place during winter. Winter setting is the first main prompt. The second prompt is sport. The Olympic Games is a sporting event, so of course there should be a prompt dedicated to reading a book featuring sports. The book does not need to be completely about sport, it just needs to feature sport in any sort of way. And yes, fantasy sports are allowed. The third book is country. Read a book that somehow relates to the country that you are representing. So not the country where you live, not the country where you were born, but the country that you signed up to represent. That's the country that your book needs to relate to. It can relate in any sort of way. It can be that the book originates from that country, it can be that the author is from that country, it can be that the book takes place in that country, perhaps the characters travel there. Any way that the book might relate to the country that you're representing, that is fine. The fourth prompt is host. This time the Winter Olympics will be hosted by China, so therefore the fourth prompt is to read a book that somehow relates to China. And the fifth and final main prompt is Paralympics. Following the Olympic Games, there's another sporting event called the Paralympics happening. And the Paralympics involves athletes with physical disabilities. Therefore, the prompt here is to read a book featuring either physical or mental disability. A book with disability representation. You get 50 points for each completed main prompt, so in total you can gain 250 points if you complete all of the main prompts. Once again, you're not allowed to double up, and if you already have any sort of recommendations for any of these main prompts, please share them in the comments already, because I want this to be a hub where people can discuss and give recommendations for each book, because I want everyone to find at least one book they are excited to read during the OlympicsAthon. Now let's go to the 4 bonus prompts. These are definitely a bit more tricky, a bit more difficult. Once again, you do not need to aim for these prompts unless you want to. I really want to emphasize that. No need to stress about these prompts if you don't feel like it. The first bonus prompt is 5 different continents. This prompt is inspired by the 5 rings on the Olympic flag, because it is stated that each ring represents a continent. Now, one could argue that there are more than 5 continents, so I'm just gonna say that any 5 continents counts. Basically, the prompt is to read 5 books where each book relates to a different continent. You might be able to find 5 books that individually fit the main prompts, and then also each individually represents a different continent. So you could complete this prompt without adding any extra books. Also, depending on which nation you choose to represent, you might get up to 2 freebies for this one. As I said, we have the host prompt where you read a book that relates to China. If you complete that prompt, you already have Asia cleared. And depending on which nation you choose to represent for the country main prompt, you might already have another continent done as well. For example, I plan on representing Sweden, so if I do complete the country prompt, I will have completed Europe for the continent prompt as well. And if you complete this prompt, you get 100 points. The second bonus prompt is flag. Read a book featuring all 5 colors of the Olympics flag on the cover, meaning you need to find a book that has blue, black, red, yellow and green on the cover. And this is actually more difficult than you would think. We have done this prompt before, it is quite difficult. The font counts, the author's name counts, any nuance or hue of the color counts. Also, alternative covers counts, because it's not up to you which covers you have access to or not. So if an alternative addition to your book has a cover featuring all of the colors, that is fine. This prompt is worth 50 points. The third bonus prompt is 5 translated books. Yes, you need to read 5 translated books in order to complete this prompt. Depending on where you live, this might be easier for you. Once again, if I'm just using myself as an example, I live in Sweden. I have access to books that have been translated from English or any other language to Swedish, so I could simply read 5 Swedish books that were originally written in another language and count that. Depending on where you live and what languages you speak, there are different levels of difficulty to this one. Once again, you can try and combine this. So you can read 5 translated books that each one relates to a different continent and that also individually completes the different main prompts. So you can still complete the entire readathon with just 5 books, but it might be difficult to find books that you are interested in reading that has all of those qualifications as well. This prompt is worth 100 points. And then the fourth and final bonus prompt is medal. Read a book with foiling on it. I got this one as a suggestion and I couldn't help myself. I love this idea. So read a book that has any sort of foiling on it. Once again, alternative editions counts. Ebook edition counts. Just if you know the book usually has foiling on it, that is fine. Why this prompt is called medal, you ask? Well, I would say that the most common types of foiling are either the colors gold, silver or bronze. So yeah, the medals. This prompt is worth 50 points. Okay, so now that you've heard the prompts, you're probably wondering, well, how do I participate? As I mentioned in the beginning, we have a sign-up form. It will be the first link in the description box and it will also be on the Discord. It will be in the information thread on the Twitter. Sign up to the Readathon, you can do it already. Pick a unique name that you don't think that anyone else will pick and choose which country you wish to represent. Just send that off and you are signed up for the Winter OlympicsAthon. There will also be a tracking sheet, it's already linked in the description, and this is where you will track the books you read, meaning that once you have completed a book or completed a prompt, you go on this form, you type in which book you read, which prompt you fulfilled, and send it off, and in that way I can give you the points for reading that book. This is a team-based competition, not an individual one, so you're competing for the nation you are representing, and the country that wins will be the country that has gained the most points during the Readathon. Throughout the Readathon I will host reading sprints here on my channel. I will have a kickoff already on the 2nd of February, I believe that is a Wednesday, so put that in your calendar, a kickoff to the entire Readathon, and then we'll have sporadic reading sprints throughout the entire Readathon, which will be so much fun. There's a Twitter for the Readathon, it's the OlympicsAthon Twitter account, I will link that one. We also have a Discord server where you can share recommendations for all of the prompts, you can share your TBR, you can share any journal spreads, chat about the Olympics, chat about the books you're reading, chat about literally anything. It was such a lovely space last time when we did this during the summer. I'm excited about all the chats we will have in the Discord because that was one of my favorite parts. And once again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. Ask in the comments, ask in the Discord, DM me on Twitter. If anything is unclear to you, let me know and I will try and clarify it for you. And with that said, I think I have mentioned everything. So, quick recap. The Readathon will be happening from the 2nd until the 20th of February. There are 5 main prompts, 4 bonus prompts. Main prompts are 50 points each, 2 of the bonus points are 50 points each, and 2 of the bonus prompts are 100 points each. In total, you can gain 550 points. You will be competing for a country. You can choose whatever country you want, it's up to you. We have a Discord, a Twitter, and also you can feel free to subscribe to me here on YouTube so that you can keep up with the reading sprints that will be happening. And I might post a recommendation video, or I will at least share my own personal TBR for the OlympicsAthon if you want any inspiration. Remember to sign up, remember to use the tracking form. I think that's it for this announcement. Oh my god, it's happening again. I've been so excited about this. I've been like holding out filming this announcement. I'm just glad it's happening again. I had the best of times last year. That should be everything. If I have forgotten anything, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please take care and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes